Hello and welcome. I am Yogesh Pai, Assistant Professor of Law at National Law University, Delhi. In week 12, we are going to study the critical relationship between intellectual property and public interest. Intellectual property are a set of rights, but they also create important restrictions for benefiting public interest. We are going to study in this week three various kinds of intellectual property rights and public interest aspects associated with it, and how the statute and judicial case laws have developed in order to interpret important provisions on public interest. In the first module, I am going to discuss intellectual property and the principles of exhaustion or first sale doctrine. We are going to study how once intellectual property rights gets exhausted, the capacity of the IP holder to benefit from future sale is restricted by IP law. We are also going to study the concept of both national and international exhaustion, and also some kind of variation of national exhaustion as regional exhaustion. And we are also going to study importantly how various kinds of statute either provide for national or international exhaustion in Indian laws. In the other module, in relation to intellectual property, we are going to study the concept of compulsory licensing in patents. Dr. Swaraj Paul Barua is going to take you through important aspects of compulsory licenses in the Indian law, and also various other kinds of exceptions or use without authorization that are carved out in the law. It is important to note that since India signing the TRIPS agreement, there has been one instance of compulsory license being granted until this time. However, there are a couple of other applications that have been unsuccessful. We are going to study in detail how the NACTO versus Bayer compulsory license played out in the Indian courts and what were the important ramifications of this decision in terms of access to medicines. Finally, we are going to discuss copyright and public interest. Here we are discussing statutory and compulsory licensing in relation to copyright. Mr. Anand Padmanabhan is going to take you through the mechanism for statutory licensing in India and also provisions in relation to compulsory licensing in certain cases. We are also going to study the most important amendments in relation to compulsory licensing in favor of the rights of the disabled. In all, this particular week, we will discuss the critical relationship that IP and public interest share in providing access and also benefit innovation. Towards the end of this week, I am going to see you again to summarize the most important points that have been discussed during the week. Until then, thank you very much.